Good evening. We bring you the latest in the world of sports. I'm Paulo Del Rosario.
And we give you the conversations you want to hear from your favorite sports icons and athletes. I'm Boom Gonzalez. And we've got a special show tonight as we catch up with the Gilas Pilipinas women fresh from a crucial win at the FIBA Women's Asia Cup.
Buckle up, sports fans. Let's get in the game. Now, after competing against the best teams in the world, our Gilas Pilipinas women have advanced to the knockout stage in the FIBA Women's Asia Cup. Joining us tonight live from Sydney, Australia, are the national hoopers themselves, Camille Clarin, Jack Animam, Vanessa De Jesus, and head coach Pat Aquino. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the game. Maraming salamat. Congratulations on your first group phase win.
Woo!
Since
Historic.
2015.
What a historic
Ibang
win.
klase talaga. Coach Pat, I want to start off with you because we had a conversation just yesterday talking about this entire achievement, this everything that's happened so far. What can you say about the campaign? 3 games in, 2 blowouts, but then that one really important win. What does it say about the group you have and the experience you've had so far?
Well, again, they showed their character after being down by two games. Especially you're competing with the best, like number 4 Australia, number 9 Japan, and of course Chinese Taipei. I think they did a good bounce back game against Chinese Taipei. I know they were prepared already, but they poured their hearts out. They played together and they competed, and we felt that we belong to FIBA Asia Cup, not just playing the relegation game.
Yeah. Coach Pat, all right, thanks for the overview. We have you guys for quite a while, so we will dissect everything.
Yeah.
Before we get to the win, Coach Pat, let's talk about the losses first and how the tournament started. I know you're shaking your head because I know you didn't like how it started in the first quarter, the height and the heft, obviously, of the number 3 team in the world, Australia. Take us through the hardships of that match first.
It's our first game, really, an official first game together. I think they were a little bit intimidated by the Australian team, and of course, it's their home court, so a lot of them watching us, and there's also a lot of Filipino watching. But maybe it's the pressure they sucked in a little bit of pressure that game, and it was only Vanessa that showed up on that game. So, but on the second game, I think they know the things already, that what we can do better and what we can do together. So I think that's the main bounce back talaga, the Japan game, and they know they could compete against Japan, so they can compete against Chinese Taipei.
Jack, gaano kahirap mag-bounce back after that Australia game? Because it was frustrating in many ways. Individually, not a great performance for you numbers-wise. Tapos, the scoreline is what it was. How difficult was it to bounce back? At ano yung mentality ng Gilas women right after that game?
Siyempre, it was frustrating talaga. But sabi ko naman sa kanila, sa huddle namin na, I know, tambak na tayo, but we still have 2 more games, and we just have, kahit makagawa lang tayo ng isang magandang execution or one good stop, and we'll go from there. Unti-untiin natin. It's parang sabi nga, parang okay, wala tambak na tayo, but yung character natin, it's just our character na we just have to keep fighting. Walang susuko kahit na ganon. And yun, sa sarili ko, I was 0 out of 6 sa field goal, but I said hey, if I can't make basket, that doesn't mean na I can't do anything. There's so many ways I can help on playing good defense, helping out, boxing out, getting those rebounds. So dun ako bumawi, and yun, I'm just really happy with my team na from tip-off to buzzer, we hold on.
0-6, 0-10 naman si April Bernardino in that game. Really a tough one. Vanessa, you obviously, they celebrated the 18 points. You made it look easy, but I'm sure it wasn't easy. What are your major takeaways from that from the 18-point performance, even in a blowout loss?
Yeah, I think, at the end of the day, Coach Pat just wants us to compete no matter what the score is, no matter what it says. Every game is an opportunity for us to get better. And I think just in that game, it taught us how to, figure out what we need to work on and, just prepare for the next one. So, again, it's just always about continuing to keep pushing through and just take every game as a learning lesson.
Yeah, it wasn't necessarily the sweetest debut for you in terms of the result of the game, but then it feels like from that point on, you and the rest of the team started adjusting to each other. How's that process been like, especially with that Australia game being the start of point competitively?
Yeah, we knew, obviously Australia is one of the best teams in the country, and I think, again, it's just trying to figure out who we are as a team because, as Coach Pat mentioned, it's the first time all of us have played together. But I think getting that first game out of our system and, just feeling the team more and how we play together and figuring out, what will work for us, what won't work for us. I think now we're finally understanding the kind of team we are, and I think moving forward, we're going to be even better than we are coming into the tournament.
Cece, now we go to that Japan game where it was a different challenge.
Yeah.
They were faster on offense and defense. They were blitzing. They were full court pressing. And even at half court, they were up in your grill. Tell us about the challenge of Japan, 5-time champions.
It goes to show why Japan is number one. The way they play basketball is different from Asia overall, and I think that's who we or personally I look up to as a team. It was a great challenge for us, the way that they shoot, the efficiency that they play with, and then the fact that they just have so much fun in the way that they play. Like, basketball looks so easy for them, and of course that's against if you're playing against them, I know it feels kind of bad, but it's also something that's so fun to watch, even if you're on the other side of the court.
Yeah, and Cece, just looking at your performances, basing from Australia to Japan, I know the score still wasn't close, but then it felt like the team did perform a lot better together in that game and served as a springboard going to that final game against Chinese Taipei. What changed in between that Japan and Australia game that gave you guys a bit more confidence and a bit more drive to really perform the way you girls did?
I think it just goes to show that we knew coming up to Australia was a tough challenge, but we were better matched with Japan, so I think we thought we had a better chance. It was a chance for us to kind of practice what we needed to do moving forward, because although that was the game that we are currently playing, we had to look ahead to Chinese Taipei or the next game. So doing what we could in that game to get our energy for the next one was definitely something that helped.
Okay, Coach Pat, going into that next game. So you were trending upwards. What did you like after the 2 takeaways of the losses that gave you confidence against this Chinese Taipei team? It started off a little shaky, but you had that separation run in the first quarter, and you repelled every single run that there was all the way till the fourth quarter. Take me through the takeaways from the first 2 games and the confidence that you had through Chinese Taipei.
The first takeaway, siguro, is the contribution of the other team members. It's not just Vanessa or Jack or Janine and the first 2 games and April, but everybody pitched in a little bit. Like CC made that 3 points,
big.
not just making baskets, but playing good defense. Everybody, like Ella, Chuck, Kabinbin, and of course the 2 backup of Jack and April, si Mika and Angel. So everybody really competed, and that's what we like about this team is nobody gave up on it. And I think that was the thing for us is we wanted to compete against the best, so we're here to compete with the best.
If you want to see just how much the game meant to all of the players, just watch the highlights of Jack Animam after the game. Kasi grabe the emotions that she showed in very many interviews. Pero Jack, has it sunk in yet that you finally reached a milestone in terms of finally getting a win dito sa FIBA Asia? And of course, what does that mean, hopefully, for you, for this team, as you look forward to your games against New Zealand and onwards? Sorry, Jack,
I
nakamute
think
ka
you
yata.
muted. Yeah, Jack.
Speechless pa rin hanggang ngayon.
Sorry po. Yan. So actually, 1 and 18 minutes left pa sa clock. Parang 8 or 10 points leading na kami. Sabi ko, parang sa sarili ko, konti na lang. Pero, totoo ba to na we're leading over Chinese Taipei and we're about to get our first ever win sa group play, sa Division A. And nung timeout yun coming from a timeout, pagdating sa court ulit, patuloy na yung luhak, pero sabi ko hindi pa tapos. Not until pag nag-buzzer na. And yun, nung last play na kuha namin yung bola, we're just, inuubos na lang yung oras. Hindi ko na napigilan. Talagang parang, wow, finally, parang, totoo ba to? Is this really happening? Na we just beat Chinese Taipei and we just got our first win. And not just the first win, but another history again. Coming from seeing this program fighting its way from the Division 2 of FIBA Asia, from winning it all and promoted to Division A, blowout by blowout. But now, getting that first win, wow.
Yeah.
I've seen it all. I was there. I've seen it all. And to be still here, it's a privilege. And I just can't, really, I don't know. It's just something that I would never forget.
Oh, it's coming across on screen, Jack. I mean, we can understand it's a big win. You avoid relegation. You stay in the group. The last two times you met Chinese Taipei, it's an average of almost 34 points. Yung distansya nyo between the two teams. So that's why this one's really big, including the 2017 and the 2019, 2021 blowout, so to speak. Vanessa, the composure and the control that you had in towards the end, can you talk about how you were thinking when they were making that run? And CC made that big three. When Chinese Taipei made that run to keep distance, you guys really showed a lot of composure and control in that fourth quarter. Can you talk about that, please?
Yeah, again, I think it just goes back to the preparation we had heading into this game. I feel like we've put in the work and the time to really prepare for Chinese Taipei. And at the end of the day, I feel like that gives us confidence in the team we are and the players we are. So heading in those last minutes, it wasn't really anything we weren't prepared for or didn't know what to expect. So I think, again, it just goes back into the work that we put in to help us get ready for those kind of moments.
CC was telling me after the game, Pao, I told you about this last night, how she really, that big drive, the pump fake three. And can you tell us what you told me? Can you tell me that?
Well, I forgot what I told you already, but I just know the last shot that I had, my hands were already shaking, so I knew
That's it.
no matter what, I was not going to take that shot. So I had to figure out something else to do, and they were hugging Vanessa, hugging Jack, so I had to come up with something. That's all I had in my mind.
That's the one. It's huge, and thank you for that shot under goal stab, the right side. They will all be back with us next with our conversation, so stay with us. In the meantime, after the break, we've got more with the Gilas Pilipinas women's team as they look ahead to their next matchup. Stay tuned. You're watching The Game. Welcome back. We're still watching The Game. We're still joined by the Gilas Pilipinas women, Camille Clarin, Jack Animam, Vanessa De Jesus, and of course, head coach Pat Aquino. And now we're looking forward to tomorrow. It's tomorrow, right?
Yes.
June 30. Coach Pat, your thoughts on tomorrow, the preparations for tomorrow? Because as they say, job's not done. We're coming from a huge historic win, but we can get greedy, right? That's what we're doing right now, Coach Pat, right?
Definitely. I know we won the first game and syempre hindi tayo mag-stop doon. We need to, I think this is just the spark of something bigger, We might make news again tomorrow. So we're just really preparing hard. I hope that, we get rested well. Some of the kids already been having colds and cough. But, but still, they really wanted to play more and they really wanted to compete. So hopefully we could show everybody that, it's not just a fluke game. We're gonna do it one more time.
Vanessa, it feels like the team's on an upward trend. Like we mentioned a while ago, every game it's been an improvement in terms of how the team performed. How are you girls feeling as a unit going into that game against New Zealand, fresh off a win and an emotional high as well?
Yeah, I think, we're excited again to get out there. We know what it feels like to win. So obviously we're going to come out there with the intention to, give our best and hopefully get another win. So I think we're all just ready to finally play New Zealand and just, again, represent the Filipino culture.
Hey, Cici, I got a two-part question. First, what would the New Zealand challenge be specifically for you guys? And also, I'm wondering, you were used to playing 3 straight games in 3 straight days. I'm sure you welcome the rest a little bit, but is that a little bit of a concern that you have a break, or do you welcome it?
Well, first, the challenge I think that we have is that New Zealand is almost built the same, and like the height-wise is the same as Australia, so would definitely be our height would definitely be an issue. But I mean, that's never stopped us before. It's a good challenge up ahead. We've already faced Australia, so we know what to expect, and a lot of us have gone up in the international play against some of these players, so we've matched up with them before, and we're excited to see what we can do against them. And I think the rest is definitely beneficial for us, especially because this weather has not been very nice to us. A lot of us have gotten sick, so I think the rest is as much as we could hope for, and hopefully those people feel better coming into this game and are just ready to give it their all.
Our being tropical shows, I guess, when it comes to the temperature. Jack, of course, that last game against Chinese Taipei was your best performance, both on the box score and as well in terms of impact mo. Does that give you more confidence going into the next one, knowing that we all know that you're coming from an injury layoff for a while, trying to get your groove, yung rhythm mo. Is the rhythm there? Do you feel even more ready right now going to New Zealand after what you did sa Chinese Taipei?
I think I am. She's back. I think I am. She's back, and I'm just really more like confident, especially because the trust of my teammates and the coaches been giving me. I'm just repaying it, and the all out, the whatever it takes mentality. Sabi ko nga coming to that game against Chinese Taipei, bago ako matulog, sabi ko bukas, I'm gonna give it my all. It's gonna be my biggest game of my life. Pag hindi, goodbye na talaga. Sabi ko, so, I just really come out there.
Huwag naman goodbye. Huwag naman goodbye.
Just to be aggressive, do the things that, I'm used to do. And tsaka din, grabe, kasi I think we were more patient moving that ball well, the distribution of the ball. And that's why everything just clicked. That's why I think even when the Chinese Taipei had their run, they're coming back. But I think we're more like, we didn't panic. I didn't even feel like we panicked. We chop it like, okay, let's take it one step at a time, make baskets, and just go back on defense and just play up. And that's it.
16 and 15.
Yeah, not bad. And a lot of drops, as pinag-usapan natin, Jack, you drop step Chinese Taipei into submission yesterday. Congratulations again. And of course, tomorrow is the big day. We're all supporting you, and congratulations. And we thank you for your time, for being on the show today, Coach Pat, Jack, Vanessa, Cici. Maraming salamat. Mabuhay, and good luck tomorrow.
Thank you po.
Thank you. And of course, you can catch the girls on the Pilipinas Live app that you can find on the Apple Store as well. And of course, our Gila stories continue after the break. We'll hear from CJ Perez and Chris Newsom as they talk about their journey with the national team. Stay tuned. You're watching The Game.
Welcome back. You're still watching the game. Gilas Pilipinas is one step closer to the upcoming FIBA World Cup, and players are hard at work to get a spot in the elusive roster. Let's take a look at the aftermath of the gold medal finish in the SEA Games and their connection that has elevated their game in the national stage.
Fresh from winning the gold medal in the Southeast Asian Games, Chris Newsome and CJ Perez are in the hunt for another tour of duty with Gilas Pilipinas.
Very surprising because I wasn't expecting it at the time. And, it was at that moment that I realized that, okay, this is really my chance. And me being at this stage in my career now, this is basically my prime. And so for it to come at this point in my career, it was such a blessing.
Once in a lifetime to sa career ko. And syempre, para sa love sa country and sa basketball. Diba? Nagtitraining kami, binibigyan namin lahat ng best namin para sa bayan.
This time around, though, they won't have to settle for a humid gym and a substandard venue as they target to play in the biggest stage in international basketball in the FIBA World Cup.
Para sa akin, malaking bagay yun yung napagdaanan namin yung ganung challenge sa SEA Games eh. Kasi kung tutusin, mahirap na yung kalaban sa SEA Games, mas mahirap kalaban sa World Cup eh. So, yung mindset namin para naka-focus kami sa talagang sobrang lalakas na kalaban.
For the two athletes, the difficulties they faced in Cambodia helped toughen them up for the long Gilas grind for the World Cup.
Nonetheless, with those conditions and how it was, I just made sure that I gave it everything that I could. And me laying there on the floor after the game, I think that was the first time that's ever happened to me. But I think that was really me emptying everything I had just to try to get to that gold medal match.
The two have known each other for more than a decade as they used to be in the same Ateneo Team B back in college.
He's here for a reason too, and I think we understand how important it is to be alongside somebody that has that same drive as you, that has that same fight, and reaching these different milestones has only made us closer, and that's one thing that we've always talked about as well, and I think that's what's going to help us to continue to progress.
They also won SEA Games 3x3 gold together back in 2019.
Nung 3x3 talagang, kahit nang bago mag 3x3, goods na kami ni New. And syempre, nung nanalo kami ng gold sa 3x3, nanalo kami sa SEA Games, talagang sobrang happy ako para sa kanya.
For Newsome, chemistry with Perez is automatic, and it's something they can use to their advantage with Gilas Pilipinas.
I can just look at CJ and be like, CJ, do this. CJ, do this. Or, we don't even have to say it. We can look at each other and just kind of give that nod, and we kind of already know. And, that's something that some players, it takes years to develop. And just to be able to have that type of chemistry with CJ, I know that I can trust him in big situations and in big games, and we know how to work with each other at that point.
From Ateneo to 3x3 to 5-on-5 in Cambodia, they have won many games together, and they're hoping to have the privilege of being on the same team again for the World Cup.
For sure, alam ko na matagal niya nang gusto maglaro para sa Pilipinas eh. So, sobrang happy, and syempre excited ako lagi kasama si New sa court eh.
I can only imagine what his peak is going to be like. So, wishing the best for CJ, of course, and I'm hoping that we can put on a great show and a great fight in front of our countrymen whenever we head back home for the World Cup.
Carlo Pamintuan from Tallinn, Estonia.
Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Boom Gonzalez.
And I'm Paulo De Rosario. This has been The Game.